I was recommended to go to railroads by an old instructor that railroads had that taught me in Ontario, one of their
Mm-hmm.
colleges there, and just the way that I was, how can I say it, interactive in class
Mm-hmm.
is what he recommended. Railroads would be perfect for that. You know, the
Okay.
whole team spirit, the whole doing things in groups, and then try to empower each other. And that's what he kind of came to me and told me about, saying, you should go to that school. That's how they teach there. I think the learning structure that they had, the interactive, starting from foundation to graduation. It's just I think everybody who came out of here was more strong on social parts. So I think that's the only thing I take back from railroads is how to be social in business. I learned how to work with other people. Better to. It's not just having a group of people around you to do work. It's a group of talents that you bring together to come with one major, let's say, uh, production. One person will bring in their expertise in finance, the other in marketing, somebody in leadership, maybe some small parts that one person cannot do. I think that's one thing I'm doing right now. I have about 13 businesses now in Victoria. Each business is with different group of people. Everybody is bringing in their own expertise and just making a business out of it, basically. So that's the model I took to reality. Is what Roller Rose taught us how to put together teams to come up with a plan or a business plan. I just took it to reality and created business around it. The fund, originally the fund was just an idea of investment here in Canada at the beginning. Just going through Railroad's system, I think in quarter three, was it quarter two, February, is when we did the venture challenge. It was more creative and innovative than just anything, just business itself. It truly explored the entrepreneurial, let's say, possibilities in some of the students just through the projects they did. The fact that they had $5 to start with, and the results that they came, not just they came back with revenue, but with the main cause of it was I think for charity. So they helped a lot to expose their charities through their projects. At the same time, they raised a lot of money out of the $5, which was very impressive for me. So I came to the idea of how can I help some of these students, that for that year particularly, that's when I looked at it, is how to get them, motivated to do what they want, really. Coming out of an entrepreneurial management program, there's no job description says we're looking for an entrepreneur for a job position or something like that. Entrepreneurs are known to go out there and use the elements and grow it. The only aspect that they have difficult is the financial part. During the 2009, I think, 2008, 2009, that's when the financial crisis hit. A lot of angel investors or just investors in general are not even looking into spending a dime. And these students were promised throughout the year that by the end of the year they're going to have a business plan presented in front of panels and expected to be reviewed by some investors, which we all knew it wasn't true. So it kind of took that hope from a lot of the students.
Okay.
So that's where the fund came in. I said, well, if we can do it every year as a microcredit loan, um, the whole twist on it is the interest part. I hate financing through banks and credits and all that because they take something they really don't need, which is the interest. So that's one thing we wanted to put out there. So to have students, use the $10,000 as an asset, not just taking more expense on them in terms of the interest part. The venture challenge, people start with $5. I think our year they made, I think there were 8 teams, or I can't remember, was it 8 or 12 teams at the time? But between that number, they made about $30,000 in 5 weeks. Yeah. And out of $5, that's a lot of money for each team, let's say. So imagine what they can do with $10,000. The whole idea was to have this fund introduced during quarter two, during this venture challenge, and say that this is what you can do now for the venture challenge, which is the $5. But by the end of the year, you will have $10,000 given to you on an interest-free loan. What can you do with it? So it's kind of helped the students to build a business plan around that money, not just dream and visualize a big business plan and when 10,000 is just what they get. Use it. Use everything that railroads offer. From the learning part and the connections and the interactive that the atmosphere they put you through. Use it to your benefit. The one thing that I've seen at railroads, it made me ready for the real world when I got out there. It made me more understand how to work with people at the office or through business. And so, because at the end you're meeting human beings, and that's what railroads reminds you, not just business people.